Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and I want to talk about Superman Legacy because the announcement of Superman Legacy, adding more characters in there, reminds me of how hypocritical half of Hollywood is, critics, some quote unquote fans or whatever, and unnecessary hate towards Zack Snyder or whatever, because Superman Legacy literally announced that we're getting Blue Beetle, Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific, and Vigilante might show up as well in the movie, and an introduction to the authorities in a Superman Legacy movie that's supposed to be his introduction into the new DC universe. Really, y'all? No, absolutely not. I'm sorry. I find that very hypocritical of everyone right now that is trying to defend it, trying to justify it, and stuff like that. And not to mention Nathan Fillion and I don't even know how to pronounce. I forgot how to pronounce that goddamn guy's name. The one who's playing Mr. Terrific, 52 years old, 44 years old, and remember James Gunn said that he's going for a younger DCU, right? So why the hell is Batman old? Batman's going to be older again. We're going to have Mr. Terrific and Guy Gardner, who are past their prime of the characters in the comic books, are going to be playing these characters. And I have no problem with the actors, honestly. I just find it very hypocritical that, again, but Henry Cavill can't play Superman in the new reboot. And then you got the girl who's playing Hawk Girl. She's 22 years old, but she's short as hell, don't have a physical presence about herself, and still look like a teenage girl. But yet I'm supposed to believe that she's supposed to be Hawk Girl. Like, I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just too many things going on, and it feels very hypocritical of everyone who was complaining about, BVS was doing too much because it was setting up Batman of the DC EU. It was also introducing Wonder Woman. It was also setting up Justice League, and Zack Snyder rushed to everything. Well, what the fuck you think Superman Legacy is doing? That's a rush to everything right there. Why are we introducing this many characters? It doesn't matter if they're cameos or not. Why are we introducing this many characters in a Superman movie? That's supposed to be the start of your universe. The start of your brand new universe. Come on now. The logic don't make sense. And that's the thing that's bothering me the most, because if Zack Snyder had did this, y'all asses will be like, he's doing too much, he's rushing and shit like that. It's called, you gotta introduce the characters one after another. You don't just force them all in one movie. Well, what the fuck you think Gunn is doing? He's literally introducing an entire knockoff Justice League team. Then you got Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, maybe Blue Beetle, maybe Vigilante, maybe Amanda Waller with Suicide Squad. Like, y'all don't find that weird? But we also got to introduce Superman's cast of characters. So we got to introduce Superman, Clark Kent. We got to introduce his family. We have to introduce Lois Lane. We have to introduce Jimmy Olsen, Perry White, Daily Planet. And then we got to also introduce a villain that would require some of these heroes to show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I get it. You know, this could happen in a comic book, but not an introduction. That's the problem. And that's where I have the beef at, because I see people cheering this on, but the same people that's cheering it on was upset when Snyder did it with BVS. So, again, the hypocrisy of it all. And don't give me that, well, he did it with Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy was already a team to begin with. Superman is not a team character. This isn't like he was doing, it's not like he was doing a team that Superman was already on. Now, if he started off with the Justice League, sure, then it makes sense why these characters are showing up, because it's the Justice League movie that's happening. then I can see that. But just be having this shit, just be having it, don't make logical sense to me. It really don't. And I don't understand why this is okay. But then when Snyder was forced by the studio, which has been on numerous occasions, that was told to, hey, put Batman in the movie, put Wonder Woman also in the movie, introduce the foundation of the Justice League, and then after that we're going to do a Wonder Woman movie, and then we're going to do a Justice League movie, and then after that we're going to do a Batman movie that we never got. You make it make sense to me, because I don't get it. I don't get it. Then we're also introducing a Batman that already went through all of his Robins, and now he's getting to his son, which means that Bruce has to be about 40-something years old in that kind of time period. You know what I'm saying? So when you introduce Damian, it kind of ages him up, because he already went through 3 other sons before he got to Damian. You get what I'm saying? It just doesn't make the sense God gave, honestly. You know? So I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. And then you got Peter Safran talking about, oh, don't worry, the audience, when the new DC universe movie starts, you don't have to worry about the past movies or anything. But you're still keeping some of the actors from the regular DCEU. So yeah, people are going to go back and be like, hey, why is Superman different? Why is Batman different? But certain characters from, the Suicide Squad is still there. You know what I mean? Like, the contradiction doesn't make any sense. And I'm trying to tell you, DC has rebooted before, and it didn't work out for them. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It didn't work out for them. The New 52 is a good prime example where DC thought, we're going to reboot, we're going to get this new audience, and that new audience only lasted literally 3 months, and the sales dwindled. People really didn't buy the books like they were, because you rebooted and you changed the characters from what they used to be. You changed their iconic looks, the origins, some of the character designs were completely changed around. So, I mean, yeah. Then you try to bring people back with Rebirth, where you're like, oh, look, we're going to bring back the classic version of these characters. So it makes me wonder, like, if this doesn't work, what are you going to do? You're going to bring back Gal Gadot, Ben Affleck, and Henry Cavill, and be like, oh, look, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, the characters that you guys actually want to see, and by the actors that you actually want to see here, we brought them back after our universe really didn't work like we thought it was going to work. Like, you know how dumb that is, right? You know how stupid that is, right? I'm just saying, I just don't get it. I really don't understand the process, because WB wants to make money from DC, but you keep listening to the wrong fandom. Like, and this comes from, like, you're listening to, well, people didn't really like the Snyder movies, but yet the Snyder movies made money. Like, y'all keep talking about, y'all keep saying this, but you not proving the fact that people didn't show up for the movies, because after they got rid of Snyder and they did their own thing, those movies still sucked. I mean, those movies sucked and didn't make revenue back. And we're talking about even when it comes to Blu-ray sales and merchandise, still didn't make money. Sorry about that. Still didn't make money. So, I don't know what to tell you. The Flash ain't making no money, barely. The only movie that really made some kind of, that was really up there trying to make some money, was literally Black Adam. And then people were like, well, you guys didn't show up for that one, for your precious Superman or whatever, stuff like that. Well, first off, Superman was a 30-second cameo that was already revealed before the movie was released. So, it ain't really much or nothing when you can easily see that clip online without having to see the movie. But you were getting people excited about Henry Cavill's return, which again, it's kind of funny, because now that everybody's like saying, well, I mean, because first off, the audience always said they wanted to see more Henry Cavill Superman anyway, because people were demanding Man of Steel 2 regardless. So it's kind of weird when people be like, oh, Snyder's movies are terrible, but yet the audience wanted to see Henry Cavill Superman. Henry Cavill Superman and Ben Affleck's Batman, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, even if the movies weren't all that great to the critics or some of the audience, people will always tell you they wanted to see more of them as the characters instead. And instead of them doing something like that, they said, oh no, the movies are so horrible that we got to do something completely different than what we planned. And that doesn't make any logical sense. You have the actors. All you have to do is just tell a good story. And if you had let the plans that Snyder had, play out, you probably could have been up there with the MCU, but you didn't want to do that. Y'all wanted to rush, and now you're doing the same mistake that the previous DCEU was doing. Y'all claim that we don't want anything to be rushed or whatever, but why are there so many characters being announced? That makes absolutely no logical sense. Why are you announcing this many characters when it comes to Superman's first outing in your so-called new universe? Like, could you, like, that really make no sense. That's almost like, hey, in the New 52 Superman run that they introduced, the story opens up where Superman is in Metropolis, he's saving the day, and then there's just then Batman shows up, then Wonder Woman shows up, Stormwatch shows up in one part of the comic book, then Hawkgirl randomly flies in, and then Mr. Terrific. Like, you see how dumb that shit sounds for your first book? Like, if all of the characters and half the Justice League members show up in your movie, in your solo run, then why is it even called Superman? At this point, you might as well call that shit Justice League. You get what I'm saying? So it just doesn't make logical sense, really. It just kind of confuses me to the point where I'm like, am I living in a upsy-turvy world or whatever? Because you can't have it one way or another. You can't criticize one director for doing one thing and saying how stupid it is, but then praise another director for doing the exact same thing just because he had more of a critical positive response. At the end of the day, honestly, money talks, bullshit walks. Y'all keep talking about how great of a director James Gunn is, but the only movies that he's done that made money was literally the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and again, that was tied into the MCU. So movies by itself that he's done didn't, you know what I'm saying? Why you can look at Snyder's movies and they made money. Yeah, get mad all the fuck you want to. Talk about, well, those movies were, it doesn't really matter if those movies were terrible to you or not. Those movies still made money. Those movies still sold and pushed merchandise. That's, as a business person, even though I'm not a business person, but what I'm saying is, me running a company and I'm seeing this, y'all can talk about how terrible something is, and yet it still make money. Because think about it. Toy Story 4 and Frozen, hot shit. Hot garbage, honestly. It is hot shit. But those movies made money, but they're horrible. They are horrible movies. But it moved merchandise. It sold. And that's the thing. Like, Toy Story 4 and literally Frozen 2. Terrible movies. And I mean god-awful movies. But yet, the merchandise sold for it. The product sold, which, that's why we're getting Toy Story 5 and Frozen 3. Well, Encanto was good. It might have been good, but it didn't make no money. And the only thing that people really liked was, we don't talk about Bruno. But again, that movie didn't make money. So why would they put more time and effort into that? You get what I'm saying? And then again, co-CEO Peter Safran, his ass done produced several movies that are just horse crap. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you produce this many failures and still be able to run a studio? You get what I'm saying? Like, it don't make sense. It really doesn't make any sense. They literally, like Peter Safran, his producing credits for the DC movies really don't add up when all the movies that he done produced really didn't make no money at the box office, but you reward him with running your studio. It's the same thing with James Gunn. James Gunn's Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad didn't make money. It doesn't matter that it was critically received well by fans and audience. It didn't make money. That's the thing. Because trust me, if Peacemaker made the money that y'all claim it is, trust and believe WB would be fast tracking another season quickly. They wouldn't be trying to wait that long or whatever. No, if a show does well, the company would have definitely been fast tracking it. But the problem is that people don't want to admit is it was horse shit. That's why they didn't fast track none of it. That's why they didn't fast track it. Because it wasn't good. The show wasn't good. That's just the truth of the matter of it is. It wasn't good. But it's just funny just to sit up here and hear how everybody's like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is so cool. But when Snyder was doing it, it was a problem. And yet Snyder stuff made money. But people keep saying, well, those movies and stuff was horrible. But yet the movies made money and the merchandise sold. You ain't making no sense to me. While James stuff didn't sell, while Peter's movies that he produced didn't make money at the box office. But sure, okay, I like I said, hypocritical, but it is what it is when it comes to the Superman Legacy movie. No, I'm still not gonna go and watch it. Honestly, I wanted to crash and burn, honestly, because it'll teach WB a lesson. After ignoring fans for a long time, after ignoring the wants of some of the audience, which again, the audience had told you they wanted to see more Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, and Gal Gadot as Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and y'all still didn't listen to that. But yet, you think I'm supposed to jump on board with the new DC reboot? Ask DC comic books how those several reboots they done did in the past 10 years worked out for them. Yeah, that's what I thought. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.